It's the 3 on PLAXtv.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy PLAX, and I am back with another episode of the 3 on PLAXtv. And in this episode, I am discussing how Breanna Stewart and Napheesa Collier are starting a women's 3v3 basketball league in the off season of the WNBA. And I think that that is great. I'm actually very excited for it because that's great for WNBA players. That's great for women's basketball, period. And I'm just excited. Now, let me get into it a little bit. The league is going to be called Unrivaled. Now, I thought they were just talking about it, but apparently this is coming out next year. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a conversation that they was having, but they seem like they ready to get going. And it's supposed to start in January and go until March. Now, I want to get into pros and cons really quick. Con. Gaining a fan base, because although women's basketball is growing and becoming more popular, it's still very much underrated and very much underappreciated. So I feel like it'll be tough to gain a fan base and make the money that they need to stay afloat, because the WNBA has enough trouble with money as it is. I feel like a 3v3 league might also have trouble. Not because of the talent or anything like that, but because women's basketball is so underappreciated and underrated. But on the flip side of that, 3v3 basketball is very popular, right? The women's USA team under 19 USA team just won the World Games in 3v3 basketball. And on top of that, they added 3v3 basketball to the Olympics and the World Games. But the women's team just won with Hailey Van Lith and Cameron Brink as the leaders of the team, the main players on the team. And it was exciting. Everybody was locked into it. Hailey Van Lith was putting on a show. Cameron Brink was playing amazing defense. And people were very interested in it. Also, the Big Three League with Ice Cube's league is what was very popular. The reason it's not as popular is because the NBA was kind of sabotaging it, as far as I understand. That's what Ice Cube said. You know, I don't know necessarily how true that is, but Ice Cube don't seem like the guy to just say some shit and then not be at least some truth to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him personally. He just don't seem like the type of guy to just say some shit that don't got at least a little bit of truth to it. I can see where the NBA may seem a little threatened by the Big Three League because the former NBA players in it. But that could be another video. I may do another video on that. The potential of sabotage in the Big Three League by the NBA or whatever. But people are excited about 3v3 basketball because it's like a park game. Everybody plays three. I think the average basketball player, in the sense of like me, like somebody that plays at LA Fitness or something like that, probably has played more 3v3, 2v2 basketball than they have played 5v5. You know what I'm saying? So I think people feel more connected to 3v3 basketball. I think it's more exciting because there's more offense. It's more offense heavy. You need to be quick. You need to be reactive. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very fast-paced game. It's even quicker than 5v5 basketball. And it's in a half-court setting. It's not a lot that you have to pay attention to because people have short attention spans, so it's not a lot that you have to pay attention to. It's great. So on the flip side, yes, gaining a fan base may be tough because of how women's basketball and women's sports have been perceived. But I think the setting elevates it a little bit. The 3v3 setting elevates it a bit and may help it get more eyes. Now, a thought that just came to me, hopefully, I don't know. I guess you don't want it to become more popular than the WNBA, but then maybe you do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you do want it to become more popular than the WNBA, because if all the players are WNBA players, the people that tuned into the 3v3 league are going to tune in to the WNBA when the WNBA season comes along, because those are their favorite players from the 3v3 league. So maybe you do. Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe that's a thought that just popped in my head. Maybe because maybe the NBA, that's what they was worried about, and that's why they started sabotaging the Big Three league. And the difference in that is the Big Three league players are former players. They're not playing in the season when it comes around. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in Unrivaled, those players are playing in January to March, and then in the summertime when the season starts, they're playing again. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what from the information I've seen briefly, to my understanding, the season is going to be during the WNBA's off season. It is going to be from January to March. It's going to be 30 players and 6 teams, and I think that's great. Breanna Stewart also said that they're going to try their best to make sure that the players are paid close to or exactly what they're paid in the WNBA. Now, I think that might be a little bit tough, but if they have investors and stuff like that, maybe they can make it happen. I think that part of it may be tough, but, we'll see. I hope they're able to make that happen. And I guess out of everything, besides me being a basketball fan, I think this is just great for the players because Breanna Stewart and Napheesa, I hope I'm saying her name right, Napheesa Collier, they had the vision of allowing the top WNBA players to not have to go overseas and play. Not only because so they can stay close to their families and not have to deal with this rule that the WNBA has where they got to come back in time for the WNBA training camp. And if they don't, they can't play for a certain amount of games. It's this weird rule that they have, which kind of isn't beneficial to the WNBA players, which I don't understand why the WNBA does that. But again, maybe that's a different conversation I could have. I could look more into it. But not only those things, being around your family, that weird rule, just not having to be overseas, but the Brittany Griner situation that happened where she was a prisoner for months at a time because of a mistake that she made that was blown out of proportion because of social shit and America versus Russia and all that shit. And she was just a puppet in that, unfortunately, being used as a puppet in that situation. But regardless, that situation shouldn't have happened at all. And to prevent that, give the top WNBA players a outlet where they don't have to go overseas during the off season. They can stay home, still make money, and play pro ball. You know what I'm saying? Because again, WNBA players, for a multitude of reasons, don't make the same amount of money as NBA players do. So they do have to find, I guess, another job in the off season because they're not making enough during the regular season. And the regular season isn't even that long in comparison to the NBA season. You know what I'm saying? And then in comparison with pay, they're not making the same amount of money. So having a place in America at home where they don't have to go overseas and deal with different laws and different people and different attitudes and stuff like that, they can just stay home, stay around their family, and play ball and make money. And I think that's beautiful. They said that Unrivaled should be coming out next year, so I believe she meant 2024. So January 2024, we're looking at a league, an Unrivaled league, a 3v3 women's pro league, and I'm excited and I can't wait to see it. The only thing that kind of just came to me since it's January to March, that is NBA time. So that'll also be tough. But I think people love basketball enough where it shouldn't be too big of an issue. You just got to get a station and you got to get people to tune in. That's the biggest thing, getting people to tune in. I think, like I said, the setting of 3v3 basketball is very beneficial to this movement. And hopefully it can help progress women's basketball even more. And Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. I hope you guys tune in as well. And again, it is called Unrivaled. It is created by Breanna Stewart and Napheesa Collier. And let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is going to be successful? Do you think it's going to flop because of certain things? Please don't be nasty in the comments and be like, oh, well, it's women, so it's going to flop anyway. I don't want to hear that shit. You just hate women, and I just don't want to hear that shit in my comments. But if you have a legitimate conversation with me or a legitimate point that isn't just hate towards women, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it's going to be bad? Do you think it's going to be helpful? But make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ding that notification bell so you know every time I drop a video. And most of all, YouTube, I love you guys. Peace.
It's the 3 on PLAXtv.
Yeah.